Have you ever known someone who simply walked away from their entire family? No dramatic fight, just silence. It seems shocking from the outside. But inside the mind of that person, it often makes perfect sense. Today, we explore the psychology behind family estrangement, what drives it, what it feels like, and why it happens more than you think. Family estrangement means cutting off contact with one or more family members, permanently or for a long time. It can happen between parents and adult children, between siblings, or with extended family. Studies show that about 27% of Americans are estranged from a family member. It is far more common than most people admit. So why would someone leave their own family? The most common reason is emotional or psychological harm. This includes emotional abuse, constant criticism, manipulation, guilt-tripping, and feeling never good enough. Some people grew up in homes where love was conditional, based on behavior, obedience, or achievements. As adults, they realize that the love they received came with strings attached, and many decide they deserve better. Trauma is a major driver. Growing up in a chaotic, unsafe, or abusive environment leaves deep marks on a person's psyche. The nervous system learns to associate family with stress, anxiety, or danger, not safety. Even after leaving home, being around those family members can re-trigger old fears and defense responses. Psychologists call this complex trauma or CPTSD, when repeated harmful experiences shape how someone sees the world. For these individuals, cutting contact is not running away. It is a form of self-protection and healing. Another reason is identity. Many people estrange themselves when their true self clashes with the family's expectations. This often happens when someone comes out as LGBTQ+, changes religion, marries someone the family disapproves of, or chooses a different life path. When family members refuse to accept who you are, staying close can feel like constantly living a lie. Psychological research shows that living in environments where your identity is rejected leads to anxiety, depression, and low self-worth. Choosing to leave can feel like finally stepping into the light, like breathing for the first time. One of the most studied patterns in estrangement is the adult child who cuts ties with a narcissistic parent. Narcissistic parents often make everything about themselves. Their child's needs are an afterthought, or even seen as a burden. They may use tactics like guilt, gaslighting, love bombing, or playing the victim to keep control over their children. Gaslighting means making someone doubt their own reality. Victims are told that never happened or you're too sensitive. Over years of this, many adult children make a calculated, painful decision to walk away for their own mental health. Estrangement isn't only with parents. Sibling estrangement is also extremely common, and often deeply painful. Sibling relationships break down due to unresolved childhood rivalry, inheritance disputes, choosing sides during parental conflict, or just growing apart. When one sibling enables an abusive parent, what psychologists call being a flying monkey, the estranged sibling may cut ties with them too. This is called triangulation, when a third person is used to control, spy on, or send messages to the estranged individual. Recognizing these patterns is often the first step to understanding why estrangement feels necessary, not selfish. Making the decision to cut off a family member is rarely sudden. It is usually the result of years of pain, attempts to repair, and failed boundaries. Many people try therapy, family counseling, setting boundaries, hoping things will change. Often, they don't. The estrangement decision is often accompanied by grief, yes, grief, even if the family is still alive. It's mourning the family you wished you had, the parent who should have protected you, the sibling who should have been your friend. Psychologists call this ambiguous loss, grieving someone who is physically present but emotionally absent or harmful. After cutting ties, the estranged person almost always faces guilt, sometimes overwhelming guilt. Society reinforces this guilt. Family is everything. You only get one mother. Blood is thicker than water. These cultural messages can make people feel monstrous for choosing their own peace, even when the relationship was hurting them. But therapists note that guilt doesn't mean you did something wrong. It just means you were taught to prioritize others over yourself. Learning to separate guilt from accountability is one of the hardest, and most important, parts of recovery. It is also worth understanding the other side. The family left behind often feels confused, hurt, and blindsided. Parents especially may have no idea, or deny, that their behavior caused harm. Their pain is also real. Some families reach out repeatedly, letters, calls, showing up at the door, not understanding why the door is closed. This is heartbreaking. But the estranged person often stays firm, because reopening contact can restart cycles of harm. Reconciliation is possible, but only when the harmful party has genuinely changed and shown consistent new behavior over time. Research shows that after initial grief, many people who estrange from toxic family members experience significant psychological improvement. They report reduced anxiety, improved self-esteem, fewer panic attacks, and more control over their lives. They are better able to form healthy relationships, set appropriate boundaries, and pursue their own goals. Many describe estrangement as the hardest, and most freeing, decision they ever made. This doesn't mean life becomes easy. But for many, it becomes honest, and livable. What if there are grandchildren involved? This adds another painful layer to the estrangement. Parents who estrange from their own parents must decide what role, if any, grandparents will play in their children's lives. This is incredibly difficult. But research shows children thrive in safe environments, not necessarily large ones. A loving, stable small family is healthier for a child than an extended family with ongoing drama, conflict, or harm. Let's bust some common myths. Myth 1: estrangement is always the child's fault. Research consistently shows that in most cases, the estranged adult child reports ongoing abuse, neglect, or disrespect as the cause. Myth 2: estranged people are just selfish and ungrateful. In reality, most have tried for years to maintain the relationship, and estrangement was the last resort, not the first. Myth 3: cutting off family means you'll always regret it. Research actually shows the opposite. Most estranged adults report relief rather than regret, especially years later. If someone you know is going through estrangement, the best thing you can do is listen, without judgment. Don't say, "But she's your mother," or "You'll regret it." These phrases invalidate years of pain. Instead, say, "I'm here for you," or "I trust your judgment." Validation is the greatest gift you can give. If you are a parent who has been estranged from, it helps to genuinely reflect, not just react with hurt or anger. Ask, what role did I play? What could I have done differently? Defensiveness blocks reconnection. Humility opens doors. For those who have chosen estrangement, healing is possible. It starts with self-compassion. Therapy, especially trauma-informed therapy, can help untangle the grief, guilt, and complex emotions that come with estrangement. Building a chosen family, friends, mentors, supportive community, can fill the void that biological family could not. Many estranged adults become deeply empathetic people. Having survived what others couldn't imagine, they understand pain at a deep level. If you walked away from family to find peace, that wasn't giving up. That was choosing yourself. And that takes extraordinary courage.